about to experience. How would you get through tragedy and create beauty from it? The life of Melinda NailFanatic is the answer to that question. Melinda NailFanatic is unique, starting from the moment of her birth, 5678, yes, that's May 6, 1978, and at the same time, it's the countdown that dancers use before they bust a move, so 5, 6, 7, 8. Her life is full of much action, just as dancers' feet move in harmony with the beat, she moves in harmony with her universe. Melinda NailFanatic is a modern-day Renaissance woman in that she has multiple skills and talents in various art forms. She expresses herself in the design of high-fashion nail services, intuitive tarot card readings, abstract paintings, drawings, and various mixed media visual arts. She has designed clothing, jewelry, and furniture she has built herself. Her use of colors astounds many, since she will readily admit to not only being ambidextrous, but colorblind as well. Damn, girl. Coping with a red-green color deficiency to create vibrant, colorful masterpieces. Melinda NailFanatic is unique in many ways and utilizes multiple businesses she has developed to empower her brothers and sisters of humanity, that they be provided additional opportunities and experiences to encourage the embracing of one's own divine nature. All of these manifestations of Melinda NailFanatic come through the experience of many challenges and tragedies to refine her to be here to present herself willing and openly to all who sit long enough to listen to her words that can catalyze change in their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Melinda NailFanatic!
So tonight, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to try to give you a glimpse into a typical session at my studio. But I got 15 minutes, so with Flynn's help, this gorgeous creature that's standing next to me, we're gonna do a little bit of nail art. I've already pre-painted her nails, and we're just gonna have a little conversation while we do that. So, I wanted to play some music like we would in the studio and bring you into the vibe. If you want to close your eyes and imagine with me, it's white walls with colorful polka dots everywhere. All right. And that's the reason why I played it, because it's a high vibration song. Who knows this song? Like, grew up with us. Grew up with us for a minute. So, I asked Flynn if she had anything that she thought might be interesting to discuss with me, because I've been on this mic several times, and I've said a few things that have, some of them have shocked, some of them have made you laugh, but there's always been some sort of a reaction, and so I thought maybe, I don't know if any of you, or if Flynn, if you were able to come up with anything that you were curious about.
Has there been anything that anybody has said to you that was incredibly moving?
Incredibly moving.
What was the last thing that somebody told you that was super moving?
Okay, the first thing that comes to mind in thinking about that is when I was at an Abraham Hicks convention, and I was having about a 15-minute conversation with these ladies, and one of them called me a Renaissance woman. And it was amazing to me because it was the first time that a complete stranger, after a few moments of talking about the different expressions I do of art, addressed me and said that I was a Renaissance woman. I had known that I was, but it's a really beautiful thing to have that reflected back to me, and that was extremely moving for me.
It's so cool.
I know outside you were curious of what got me into all this stuff.
Yes.
You asked me that question earlier. And to elaborate a little bit on that, it was a passion for nails. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always loved nails. And one of the first big trouble I got into was for stealing nail polish. My aunt had a dark purple nail polish, and I saw it sitting there. I still remember it was a Wet n Wild brand, and I was so in love with the color that I said, I have to take this, and I have to polish my nails, and I did. I sat in the closet, and I just kept practicing coat after coat. I was about 5 years old at the time. Yeah, if you can imagine a walk-in closet, lights on, and here's this little girl there, just sitting there painting her nails until they get too thick, because they were horrid. I was using the left hand to do my right hand, and oh my goodness, it came out so difficult at that time. But I sat there until, after scraping a layer off and finally practicing, I got the right hand right. And it was kind of just better and better from there.
That's so cool. Can I tell you something about my mom?
Please.
So my mother is kind of an anomaly. My mother is a woman that is in the military. So first of all, that's the biggest anomaly. Right. So she was able to survive 20 years in the military, despite rampant sexism and poor treatment. And my mother was a diver in the military.
Oh, wow.
She was a diver. She was one of the very first women back in the 1970s to be able to dive with a 250-pound diving suit.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. One of the old ones where you actually have to have a tube connected to a big metal helmet. That kind.
Oh, my goodness.
And my mother has always been very into nails. And every day when my mother would get home from work, every single day, my mother would repaint her nails.
I could relate. I got known by my high school math teacher for changing my nail art every day, because when I was done with my homework, that's exactly what I do. Apparently your mother and I are sister souls at the very least. You know, we're all related. We're all related, and we all have our things that we've been doing since we were children that we're so passionate about. And you've heard me, if you've heard me speak, how many of you have actually seen me perform here before? Because this is way different. Oh my God! Woo, I'm so honored right now. Thank you so much. Oh my God, I didn't expect all that, but wow, that's awesome. How many of you were here the first night I performed? Do you remember that?
I do.
Oh my God.
That was amazing.
So those same nerves that were on me that first night are here now, because I've never done nails in this fashion, like in front of a crowd of people on a spotlight. But I was excited with the opportunity to have more time to sit and just show you how I do what I do real briefly.
I know that for your first performance you told us a lot about how you grew up and the things that you've been through growing up. And it was so inspirational. It was so, honestly, it really moved me, and I probably went home and cried. I held my cat and I cried and I thought about you.
Wow.
Would you tell everybody here a little bit more about, to reiterate that same story that you told as you told the first night, so that everybody here could get a little bit better of an idea of where you come from?
Right, I'm very willing to talk about it, only because it's benefited so many. Every time I open my mouth about it, it really does seem to be a beneficial thing. When I was, well, first off, I grew up, my mother was from South Korea, my father was born in Colorado in a small town called Fowler, and I grew up in the streets of Denver, Colorado. Not necessarily in the streets, don't get it twisted. We had a house. My mother pressed clothes, and my father, he couldn't really keep a job. He ended up deciding that crack was the way to go to try to help him beat his weight issue and beat diabetes and all that stuff, and I was the only one that could really talk to him about it. Well, after a violent night one night, he actually injured my mother's eyeball and ended up in jail. He threw a little Matchbox toy car, and I've had a stressed relationship with him ever since, until now. I've finally freed myself of that. But it hit her eyeball, and it caused a scratch on the surface of her eye. Well, a week after that, after his family bailed him out, my aunt and my grandmother bailed him out of jail immediately, and he ended up setting himself on fire one day outside of my high school, while my mother and my sister and I witnessed. Everybody actually witnessed because school had just gotten out. Yeah, so that was like my big giant life challenge. How do you take tragedy and turn it into a blessing? And boy, that was a tough one, because I tell you what, my life went crazy. I've had so many experiences, and I'm so grateful that my child is so much more responsible and well-minded than I was at the time. Because she's 22 now, or almost 22. Anyhow, but dealing with that was a real challenge, because it forced me to deal with all sorts of issues, you know, and it all started when I went back to school. You'd be surprised at how cruel children can be. My God. I swear, a girl walked up to me and said to me, "What are you doing here? Didn't your father just kill himself?" But I didn't know what else to do but continue doing what I was doing, which is going to school and getting my education. I didn't know how to make heads or tails of the situation. So I did what I needed to do, and I just kept it moving. And I ended up graduating high school with a baby in my arms, and over the years I had to deal with a lot of issues within about how I cope with my own anger and my own stresses, and it's really brought me to a beautiful place. But watching my father set himself on fire, needless to say, that burns something into your memory, right? But one of the yeah, I made a joke about it. I agree. One of the things, it's funny because I do receive messages, and so one day my girlfriend's in there getting her nails done, and she says to me about how her father had just done something real silly and hurt himself. He was trying to jump over a tow hitch. This man's like 65 years old. What are you doing trying to jump over tow hitches at your age? Anyways, he thought he could do it, injured himself. And so she's telling me the story. So I'm laughing because her story is funny, but she don't know that my father's in my ear saying, "See, ain't you glad I killed myself? Because I've been doing some more shit than that." So that was hilarious. I'm just sitting up there laughing because he's right. Her dad did what he did because he thought his body would respond the way it always had before. And he knew he could do anything he wanted, and he was right before, but now he's a little bit older, so it's a little bit more of a challenge. The body doesn't always do what he wants it to do. So anyhow, when my dad said that in my ear, I just knew that it was true, and I just laughed so hard because I could see my dad. He did so much stuff. Even though he was a crackhead and he killed himself, and he was physically and verbally abusive and all that stuff, he still did the best he could with what he knew. And that's one way that I really made peace with the situation, was because he was brought up in a certain environment as well. And all he had available to him was to respond to what he had been shown, you know? And that's all we can do. We do, you know what, we do better because we know better, and we know better because we didn't do better before. I mean, wouldn't you agree? It's so true. Like, thank God for all the mistakes that you made, because with all the mistakes that you made, that helped you see what you don't want to do no more. And you know, the fact that you did it when you was a little bit younger, well, thank God that's out of the way now. You ain't got to go do it now once you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever age you are. It doesn't matter. You got it out of the way. Now we can move on to something else. But there's always going to be something else. There's always something else. And it's all set up to show you how fucking awesome you are. I've said it before. And even in this place, somebody asked me about my curse words. You know what? I let them flow when they come through. And other than that, you know, what you do about that is up to you. And that's the truth, and that's how it is for me. I can't sit up here and expect everybody else to conform to what my vision of perfection is for the world or for them. Even if it's just that you have a home and you're able to pay your own bills, I still can't get them to conform to that. So, you know, you just do the best you can and wish good energy and do the best you can for yourself, because that's where you have power. That's where you have the power. It's about what you believe for yourself. That's where your life's direction is always going to go. And no matter what you've been through, my mother had a saying, and I'm so grateful to her for saying it to me repeatedly, which was, just because you were born in the shit don't mean you got to stay there. She said you can get up and clean yourself off and move on. And how true that is. How many people know somebody that just continues to live in that victim situation over and over again. They continue to victimize themselves daily over one day that happened. And yes, it was very traumatic, I'll give you that. But it was one